From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey, everybody. I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and chief creator of Amazing Ideas That's Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I sit down with Dustin Stout, and we talk things all AI and about his AI product, Magai. This conversation was just fascinating. Grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This podcast is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing agency for all your business needs. We are also your WordPress security experts, having over 14 years of experience locking down, backing up, and protecting WordPress websites. Go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com for more info, or stunningdigitalmarketing.info for links to everywhere we can be found on the web. Hey, everybody, Rob Cairns here. And in today's podcast, I decided to bring on Dustin Stout. And where Dustin and I met was in a group called Build Mode, which is a WP Engine kind of builders community. How are you today, Dustin?
Great, Rob. Great to be here. I'm about 3/4 of the way through my first cup of coffee here in California. And so things are going great for me.
It's always going great. It's a little early for you. I'm like halfway through my day, and I think I'm on like coffee number 4. So you know how that goes. Yeah. And
as long as there's something still left in the coffee mug, things are going well.
Yeah, things are going really well. What I thought we'd talk about today is AI, and then we'll get into some stuff that you're building. So, kind of, why did you decide to get into AI?
Well, I've been using AI tools for the last 2, 3, maybe 4 years now that I actually really think about it. And most of these tools, they were copywriting tools, or they were AI assisted creation tools. And many of them were, they were decent with the, where the technology was at. But one of the things that was really, I think, challenging for most of these popular tools that came up in that time was they were still very clunky to use, and they required you to adopt these systems of templates that kind of direct you in a certain way. They had marketing templates, and then within the marketing templates, you had to pick which of the 15 different marketing templates you wanted to use. Did you want the IDA template? Did you want the JAB template? Did you want the RAS template? Which of these templates do you want to use? And then within the greater scope, there were other templates, like, do you want to create a story? And then so it ended up being like this Netflix conundrum where there's 1,000 templates in there, and I just need to write a blog post. Did I lose you?
No. I'm here.
That's strange. My machine went to sleep. That was weird. So basically you had this Netflix problem where it's like, I got all these things in here. I just want to do one thing. I don't know which one to pick. And so you're in there scrolling endlessly, looking for the right template. And, it was good once you figured out sort of the templates that work for you, for your whatever general purpose you needed at the time. You kind of found a way around it, and it was okay. And the thing that happened when ChatGPT hit the scene, I was already kind of dabbling in learning to create some AI tools for one of my other products, which was a social media graphics software. And as I was building these little generative text AI tools and starting to explore some of the generative image tools out there, ChatGPT came along. And when I used it for the first time, it was like my eyes were opened. I immediately saw the paradigm shift that was about to happen in our culture, not just in marketing or not just in, digital creation, but like in our culture. Because what this ChatGPT mode of interfacing created was the lowest possible barrier to entry. It was a mode of communicating and creating that literally every person is used to. We all know how to send a text message, right? We all know how to do a chat online. And I was blown away by it. And I knew like this is going to completely eradicate the need for this Netflix, paradox of choice that we have to deal with in these other AI tools. Now we can just talk to the AI, tell it what we need, and it will give it to us. And it's almost like magic. So I really got excited about it. I literally scrapped everything that I was building in a generative AI tool, and I reworked everything to create something built upon this idea of ChatGPT and a chat style interface with a intelligent AI bot.
Yeah, it's really incredible with the way AI is going. I was sharing with you before we jumped on the record. I just recently took ChatGPT and created a email sequence for a client, which I turned around and sold for $3,000. Yeah, I had to go over it after because it's a tool, but the time saver that I saved by doing that was astronomical. And I think one of the places we need to get past, and it's really hard in the community, in the WordPress community, is AI is a tool. The same way a page builder is a tool, the same way Gutenberg's a tool, the same way social media scheduling tools are a tool, the same way Photoshop has AI built-in buttons on it to make things easier. These are all tools to make our jobs streamlined and easier, and not a job replacement strategy.
Right. And in the same way, Grammarly is a way to help us with our spelling and automate our grammar correction. Right. It's the same exact thing. It's just a tool that assists you in augmenting the skills that you already have, helping you do things faster and with more effectiveness.
Yeah, and Grammarly is one tool that I use all day because yours truly cannot spell and cannot do grammar.
I am a notorious typo artist. That's
yes.
I am so good at typos, and if it weren't for tools like Grammarly, it would be bad. I would be getting nothing but emails and comments from the eagle-eyed grammar people out there.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about AI, and I know every time it comes up in build mode, people's eyes just kind of light up and say, "You can really do that, or you can do that." So I'll give you another example. I was out with a client last week who is a jewelry store. And I was going over their website, and long and short of it, they had somebody playing with it that shouldn't have been. We won't go there. And and the page about jewelry repairs was empty. So, being the lazy person I was, and the business owner was tied up, I jumped on to our favorite chat bot and said, "Write me a jewelry repair website page." And no word of a lie, it went up exactly as it was typed. It was that good. So I think some of that's happening. I think where we struggle is AI is not always, shall we say, looking at the most recent information. So if it's in the last year, I think AI struggles at time. Would you concur with that or not?
Yeah. So with OpenAI's AI in particular, ChatGPT, the cutoff date for its data was September of 2021. So you've got almost 2 years worth of data that it is behind on, which isn't to say it's necessarily catastrophic, because that's still a lot of data. All the data up until 2021, September 2021, that's still a lot of data, and it's a lot of knowledge that it has about many, many things. But if you're asking it to generate content about more recent events or more recent advancements in technology, which can be difficult, especially in the WordPress space, when since 2021, how many changes has WordPress undergone? Lots. So it can be challenging in that respect, but it still has a whole lot of information in there. And with some tools out there are ways to sort of feed it new information and get it up to speed, so to speak.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, AI is like all the rage. So I listen to other tech podcasts and other marketing podcasts, and one of my favorites is one called This Week in Tech, and it's on the Twit network, which is a little ports network out of Petaluma. And I don't think Jason Howell and Micah Sargent have gone a week in the last probably 6 months without at least one AI conversation. So that kind of tells you. And every time you pick it up and it's hit the mainstream media, and I think people, as I say, are scared, but they have to realize the difference in tech is when I started in tech over 30 years ago, stuff changed every 6 months or every 8 months. Now in tech, stuff's changing every week and every day. And I think that's what we have to accept.
Yeah. Yeah. Technology is only moving faster. And, you're either going to adapt with it and leverage it, or you're going to be left behind at some point. And so I've always been a big fan of change. A lot of people have a hard time with change, and it's understandable. Human beings are creatures of habit, and it's hard to get in a habit if things are constantly changing. But something about change and progress has always lit me up. And whenever there's like an app update, I'm like, oh, I got to get the latest update. Or whenever there's a WordPress update, I'm like, I need to be on the bleeding edge version. Like, I want to know what changes are coming, and I want to be the first one there to explore them. Maybe it's the explorer in me. Maybe it's just a little bit of I like discovering new things.
Yeah, I think one reason why I see eye to eye with you so much in group chats is you're like me. You like to be on that edge and you like to play with it. I'm the guy when WordPress releases a major security update and I manage over 300 websites, I have those done within the first 12 hours. And people look at me, you didn't just do that, did you? And I said, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Because I rather know what I'm playing with than what I'm not playing with, kind of. Right?
Exactly. Same.
Yeah. So let's jump into why I decided to get you on the podcast. You did an amazing demo a week and a half ago in build mode with the new product you're developing. Do you want to tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah. So the product I was alluding to earlier, it's called Magi. And essentially when I started using ChatGPT, like I said, I loved it. I was so excited about this technology. As a content creator, for the past 12 years, though, I had certain things that I knew were required by content creators in order to thrive in creating content. Now, as powerful as ChatGPT is, it lacks a whole lot of features. So right now, it's just a chat, a screen with an interface where you can type things and get things back, and then a list of just all the chats you've created. As a creator, I knew I was going to be using this thing at scale, and I knew I needed a handful of things out of the gate. I needed the ability to search and filter my chats so that I can go find them later on when I need to come back to them and re-reference something or add to something. I needed a way to sort of categorize and put them into folders to keep them organized and not like, a mess. And I wanted a little bit better interface. I'm, you know me, Rob, like I'm a little bit of a nut when it comes to beautiful interfaces. And
you are.
I have a lot of, I have a lot of emphasis in all my work on the experience of things. And so I wanted to create a beautiful interface. And so as I started exploring this idea of like, what is missing from this that would help content creators thrive, especially for my own work and going from my experience working with clients and training clients, what do we need that's not here? And how can I build it? And that's what Magi was born out of, this need to take the technology and leverage it in a way that would be conducive for content creators to really thrive with the technology and the current ways they're used to working with content.
So one of the reasons you built this product was you had a business need, right, for yourself, and you built it as part of that business need and said, wait a minute here, now I can leverage this for other people. So isn't it so common the way we build products as entrepreneurs is it's all about what we need, and then we say maybe somebody else can use this, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we're programmed to look for gaps for what's missing in the marketplace. What do I wish I had, and can I build it? Can I fill that gap in the marketplace? And That's that. I mean, that it was a no-brainer with Magi. I mean, it was blatantly obvious what needed to happen and what needed to be created to leverage this ChatGPT technology.
Yeah. I'm thinking back to the demo you did like a week and a half ago and just kind of playing it in my head. And I know the Bilmo group was in awe. Like some people don't follow you as quickly on other socials, so they don't realize what's going on. And you were showing off some of the features of it, which we'll get into in a minute. And I know people's eyes just kind of lit up and said, "Did you just do that? Did Dustin just make that happen?" Right? It was like it must have been an incredible feeling for you.
Yeah, I mean, I love creating things as beyond content. It's always fun to make something and to give it to someone and say, here, I made this for you, and to see their eyes light up and to see them use it and to get value out of it. Because ultimately, what wakes me up in the morning is not coming in, it's not this idea of like, oh, I get to be my own boss and I get to make as much money as I want. It's like, really, if none of that was here, if I could just make a thing for someone that made their life easier, that'd be all the fulfillment I needed. That's, you can have all the the trappings of being working for yourself and being an entrepreneur. You can have all that. Like, I just want to make people's lives easier and see their faces light up. As an extrovert too, like, it just, being connected to people and, helping people, that's what drives pretty much every decision that I make. Is this going to be helpful for someone? Is it going to maximize their efficacy in their work, life, family? How can I make their lives better?
And you and I are both, I would say, on the extreme extrovert side. So I think we are. Let's jump into some features. So what are some of the things that it does better and helps that ChatGPT doesn't do?
Well, like I said, the first thing was like organization. I am going to create content at scale, and I don't want to have to scroll through an endless list and try and figure out where that one thing was that I created a week ago. So Magi out of the gate has a very simple search and filter. Every time you create a chat, it's saved inside Magi, and you can easily search through your list of created chats. You can use the search box, or you can sort of filter them by some of our little filters that we have in there. And you can also group them into folders. So if you want to make sure that you keep your work stuff in this folder, or maybe your marketing stuff in this folder, you can create those own folders for yourself, organize them in there, and that way you can sort of filter by folder as well. The other thing that I built in was the ability to have multiple brands. So the whole interface is kind of predicated on this idea that you have maybe a brand for yourself. You have your personal brand, and then maybe you have a client's brand, and then maybe you have a side hustle that you're doing, or maybe you have some personal stuff that you want, but you don't want all of those chats intermingling. You want some degree of separation between the two. So every time you go to create something, you have a brand selected, and everything you create is assigned to that brand. That way, when you switch brands, all that other stuff disappears, and you only see the stuff created for that brand. Just another way of kind of separating things. And I guess another one of the most important features for me was the ability to drop a link into the chat and have ChatGPT know what's on that link without me having to copy and paste it all the way over into ChatGPT. I can just paste a link, and ChatGPT knows exactly what the contents of that link have and can then interface with it.
I really like the organizational stuff, Dustin, because I am an organizational nut, and I'm sure you are too, just knowing it as well as I do, right? And we all know that if stuff gets out of hand, and the way you're describing it with the brands, and that just makes so much sense, because that's how I organize my folder structure in Windows or on OneDrive or on Google Drive. It's all about that exact structure. So that makes a lot of sense. Do you have the ability? So two quick questions is, if I sign up for Magi, do I have to create a ChatGPT account separate and link to it, or does it handle all that? That's the first one.
Magi handles all of that for you. You don't have to worry about bringing over an API key or paying the usage over there. You have a Magai account, and that's all you need. We interface with ChatGPT on your behalf. We basically have an API connection ourselves, and we pay for that API usage ourselves, and that way you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. And the second thing is, I know your product's growing, and I don't want you to get into specifics because for business, but are you pleased with the user adoption of your product right now? Or do you still
having been a business owner for a long time, I've seen a lot of products. I've tried creating a lot of products, and many of them failed. And many of them were total flops. Some of them maybe got a little bit of traction out of the gate, but then kind of faded off. But I've yet to create a product that has seen such fast adoption and such fast fandom as Magai. And I've been really, really fortunate. I haven't really done much marketing, even though that's pretty much what I do for a living, is content marketing and creating marketing websites. I've made the conscious decision to not be as markety with this product because I really just wanted to build it in public. I wanted to be open and transparent about sharing my journey in creating the product and let people behind the curtains and just let people see what I'm building, how I'm building it, why I'm building it, and let the product speak for itself. Because I'm sure you've seen this, Rob. There are far too many fly-by-night AI products right now, and AI experts who are refugees from the crypto fallout, who needed something to do, and hype is just everywhere. And I don't know about you, but I'm so sick of hype.
If I see one Gumroad book on AI that somebody's giving away in a day on Twitter, I see 50, right? I mean, and they think this is, and I don't, to be fair, I don't think your product's hyped. I think it's bang on what people need to help them with their AI journey, because organization's a big part of it. An interface that looks nice is a big part of it. Making it easy to drop a link in is a big part of it. And, having played with ChatGPT enough, I'm sorry, the mainstream are not going to jump on a product without an interface. It's not happening.
Yeah.
And we know
absolutely. Yeah, so I've been super happy with the adoption. We've got some great endorsements from some highly respected marketing experts. Somebody that I greatly look up to, Jay Baer, who is, for all intents and purposes, one of the greatest marketing minds in the world. Read all of his books. If you don't know who Jay Baer is, Google search him, get all his books. But he gave us a great endorsement just yesterday, publicly. He shared it in his newsletter, and we're seeing a lot of professional people who actually know what they're talking about and who have been around for a while adopt Magai and say really nice things. And it makes my heart happy that, people like that are saying good things about what I built.
Now, one of the things I also admire too, I was going to get to, is you've been very transparent and you're building this in public. So all they got to do is follow you, follow the Magai account on Twitter, and you're talking about your journey every day. And I think I said to you the other day on Twitter, now you're teasing. I think I made that comment to you in a tweet because you do that. Like it's just so exciting what you're doing. And you throw out these little snippets and say, I'm working on this. I'm like, Dustin, don't do that to me. Just give it to me.
Well, if it makes you feel better, I usually only give you a sneak peek of something that is either a day or two away from being built. There have been a few occasions where it's like, oh, I thought this was ready. Ooh, no, I got to make a few more adjustments and hold off on that. Like the Teams features. Teams is actually implemented in the product, but I'm slowly releasing it to select customers who request it. If you go into your dashboard, you'll see a little notice like request Teams access. And the reason for that is just because it's a huge back-end undertaking to transition to this team functionality. And, we just want to make sure everything is smooth. And so like a slow rollout is the smart thing to do. But yeah, that was the one where I was like, oh, I thought this was ready. Oh no, I better wait a little bit longer and roll it out slowly before I go, to all of our users.
Yeah, so true. Can you share with some features coming down the pipe? that might be of interest that you can give?
Yeah. So affiliate program is underway. I set to announce that today. Our affiliate program. We have the Teams feature, of course, coming up. It's being rolled out slowly. Something I'm also considering is so right now we have a thing called personas, which are a set of pre-made chat identities or directions or instructions, so to speak, where it gives you a much better result than you would get with ChatGPT. And we have a feature where you can create your own personas. And so that's doing very well. So a lot of people have now been asking for pre-made prompts. We give you the ability to create and save your own prompts to your prompt library. That way you easy access to all your favorite prompts. But a lot of people have been requesting that we sort of create our own library and offer that as a starting point. So that's something I'm considering as well. Another big thing too. Once I get these, this team feature out of the way, I want to spend some time integrating a newer image editor, because one of the features inside Magi is the ability to generate images as well and modify those images. But I've recently found right now we're using DALL-E 2, which is OpenAI's image generator.
Yeah.
And it's good, but it's not the best. And one of the goals of Magi is to be sort of decentralized, in the sense that we're not reliant on one company's AI tool. We're not reliant on one AI model. We can kind of bring in the best of the best AI models. And I just over the weekend found a brilliant stable diffusion image generator, which is comparable to Midjourney. It's not quite as good as Midjourney. But anybody who's been following the image generation AI space knows that Midjourney, nobody can touch it.
No kidding. It's king.
Yeah, it's king. Yeah, and nothing else is even close, except this one that I found called it's called Leonardo.ai. And anybody can go on and sign up to use it. They have a paid product, but they also have an API, which means I can hook into it from Magi. And so one of the next things on my list, once I get these big things deployed, I want to start integrating that Leonardo AI into Magi, so that our image generator now has multiple different AI models that you can use and leverage to create really beautiful images as well.
That's so awesome. Like that's a lot coming down the pipe. And just the image generating stuff should get people excited. Like if they're not excited already, it should do it.
Yeah. Another thing we're working on that is also pretty exciting too is it's more of a high level sort of AI or application. So this idea of brand voice, and this is something that I had somebody give me an idea for weeks ago, but just haven't gotten to it. So this idea that maybe you're creating something for a brand, you're creating for a client maybe, or for yourself, but that client or that brand has a very specific voice, tone, word usage. In the case of nonprofits, they might have some certain ideologies that they want to incorporate, that they make sure that they are consistent with. The brand voice element will allow you to sort of train the AI and say, this is what our brand voice is like. Here's the language we use. Here are the ideals that we have. And once you save that to a brand, the AI will know it every single time. It'll generate text content that is sort of filtered by and applies your brand voice. That way you don't have to, every time, you don't have to like tell it again and again, like use these words or use this tone of voice. It'll already be baked into each brand.
That's amazing. And if you're a marketer, you really got to think about brand voice. Like that is a big deal. And I think a lot of marketers miss that. So yeah, you should be commended for all this amazing work. Just kind of one last question is, are you doing all the development yourself, or do you have a team, or how are you approaching it?
It's just me.
Wow.
Solo founder, solo built in public, solo marketed. Just me. I do have a personal assistant, but she's more for just like the administrative stuff, getting it off my plate.
That doesn't surprise me. It's just you, knowing you as well as I do, and that so doesn't shock me. Dustin, thanks for creating such a great product. You have certainly a customer here and probably many more to come. So well done. Somebody wants to get hold of you to talk to you about Magi. How's the best way?
Just head straight to the website. Magai. Magi is sort of like a combination of magic and AI. Magai.co, because the .com was being squatted on. So if you head over to magi.co, you'll be able to get in touch with me directly. It'll fill out a contact form or start a support chat. I'm right there.
Thanks, Dustin. Have yourself an amazing day, my friend.
You too, Rob. Thank you.
You're welcome. This podcast is brought to you by Stunning Digital Marketing, the digital marketing agency for all your business needs. We are also your WordPress security experts, having over 14 years of experience locking down, backing up, and protecting WordPress websites. Go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com for more info, or stunningdigitalmarketing.info for links to everywhere we can be found on the web. A very special thank you to Dustin for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much. I love you, and I think about you every day. For more information about Stunning Digital Marketing, your digital marketing experts, go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com or go to stunningdigitalmarketing.info to find out all the great places that Rob Cairns can be found on the web.